morning to you indeed and welcome to today. Today is Tuesday, the 13th of May, 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen and how do you do? Good morning indeed. Thank you for waking up to keep us company. I know you're struggling against the weather. Don't fight the fight. Get up and get going. You have to get going. There's work to be done, school to be attended to, things to do. So to all of you still lying in bed, lazing around and feeling, oh my gosh, what time is it again? It is 6 o'clock. It's time for you to wake up and to get going. The early bird truly catches the best worm, and so I encourage all of you to roll over, set your feet on the ground, say a little prayer while you're doing all of that as well, and get cracking. It's another beautiful day in this land that we call Barbados. So to all of you, a very good morning. If you're watching us on our streams on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, cbc.bb, good morning to all of you. Thank you for waking up to keep us company. Remember, share the show, share the love, tell someone else about us, and bring them along, because we have a lot to share with you, along with some fun, of course. So keep talking among yourselves, but talk to us as well. We love to read your comments as you do so. As always, if you know of something or someone which you think we need to share on the show, just send us an email. It's a very easy email address, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Mornin Barbados, that's morning without the G. You know how we say it, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and we thank you for partnering with us in doing so. So to all of you, get up, get cracking. I tend to want to wake you up, as you know, all the time with a riddle. And you know how we do this. So yesterday, you burst my bubble, you solved the riddle. Today's riddle, however, I challenge you to work out. And remember to give me a call right now on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Today's riddle: poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it? Don't scratch your head so hard. Don't do that. 228-5562 or 228-5563. That's the riddle of the day. So give me a call right now and let me know. And as always, interrupt me anytime. I'm happy to take your call. Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you will die. So what is it? Ambassador Kabashaw is giggling already because he's lost in translation on all of this. What about you? What about you? What do you think your answer would be? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Just to let you know what's coming up today, as is typical on Tuesday morning, we're having our conversations on CARICOM. We're looking today at border control as Barbados leads the effort towards the single market and economy, the movement of people. We want to take a look at that. There's an activity on this week. By the way, let me not forget, Auntie Faye, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in from St. Peter. Good to have you company. Thank you for sending your message. We received it loud and clear. In New York is Anthony Smith, and he's wishing all of you a lovely today. The 246. Anthony, thank you. Right back to you from Barbados to your space as well. Rhonda Rudder is another one who I've met today for the very first time. Rhonda, very beautiful today to you as well. I hope you have a lovely day as you start your day going with us indeed. Roosevelt Bacco is in New York, and so he's extending to all of us the top of the morning greeting to you. Back to you too, Roosevelt. Have a lovely today. Vereen Walker, how are you doing as well? Thank you for commenting as well. Good morning to you too. Have a lovely, 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 lovely today. There was so much rain yesterday, I left work early. I must confess, you know, it was raining so beautifully. I thought the only place to be was to be at home, in the bed, everything shut down, and just relax and enjoy the sound of the rain. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. There was thunder. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful day. And then this morning I woke up, it was a little bit dry, but then it began to rain not long ago. And I really, fingers crossed for some more rain today because we need it. The earth has been so dry. And so we are thankful to God indeed for his showers of blessing. So don't forget, call me and let me know your answer to the riddle. Okay, who's that rating today? Slender Glenda, good morning to you as well, Slender. Have yourself a lovely day indeed. And she's hoping that all of you travel safely. You're very careful in your travels around. This morning as well, we'll be touching base with Front Page Africa. As you do know, our president, the most excellent Dame Sandra Mason, most honorable, was in Liberia recently. We want to do a wrap-up of that trip to Liberia and to learn from the Africans there just what they experienced by her visit and her entourage as well. We'll be in Winner's Circle. Remember, we introduced you to the Make a Book project. Well, it's now complete. The winners have been announced. We want to find out whether or not how successful was that project indeed, and when can we expect to read those books as written by the young people of Barbados. As we continue our journey towards emotional intelligence, our change maker Tony Olton will join us this morning as we continue looking at self-management. And there's some tools and techniques that you ought to try so that you don't just respond in the way that you tend to respond, but that you're able to, as a more mature person this time around, having greater control of your emotions, make sounder decisions, and not simply react. This year's Junior Minister will be on set with us this morning as we're about to have another edition of the Junior Minister of Tourism campaign on. The BTMI will join us. We'll share with you how your child can be a part of it and what they get to learn from all of this as well. And not to be missed this weekend is a big concert being put on by the BARP Charitable Trust. Where will it be? How can you be there? Who will be there? All of those questions we'll have answers to this morning. But quickly, folks, don't let the time get away from you. We were 6.5 after. People, we have a call. I tell you all, interrupt me anytime. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Okay, please tell them to ask them to turn down the radio, whatever they're watching, and just simply listen to the telephone. You know, when you take a call, all you listen to is your telephone. You don't listen to other things around you. So don't be distracted. Call us, turn down the volume, and simply listen to the device which you hold in your hand. Rhonda Hines-Graham, good morning to you as well. Welcome back. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let me know. I'm waiting on the queue. All right. So while you sort yourselves out, folks, we'll continue with the show this morning. Let's turn our attention now to talking about CARICOM. And joining me as always on a Tuesday morning is Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Commichon. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good to have you. I see you brought a crowd of people with you.
Yes. Our friends from Jamaica, Belize, St. Lucia, but also very much the CARICOM Secretariat. So we are here this morning to talk about CARICOM's border attachment project. And I brought with me Mr. Leo Prevail, who is the director for the CSME, the Single Market and Single Economy at the CARICOM Secretariat. And we have as guest to Barbados, Marie Lou, immigration officer from Jamaica. Giovanni, and I will not try to attempt to pronounce his surname. Yes. Brother Giovanni from Belize, and I think they brought the rain with them.
Yes, and we're thankful.
So I'll let Leo explain exactly why they're here in Barbados, but I want to say to them that they've come to Barbados at a very special time for us, because tomorrow we are going to be commemorating the 400th anniversary of the first British landing in Barbados, the 14th of May, 1625, and in commemoration of that date, I wrote this nice little love story about Barbados, and it's called "What to the Republic of Barbados Does the 14th of May, 1625 Mean?" And I just want to give a little gift of one to everybody, because when you read it, you will see that Caribbean integration is really very much at the center of the entire story of Barbados. Whether it is the Barbadian planters that went off to establish the British colony of Jamaica, took their enslaved laborers with them. So the Barbadian population, very much part of Jamaica. Yes. Whether it was the Garifuna, who went from St. Vincent to Belize, and what many people don't know is that the origins of those Garifuna, many of the enslaved Africans who escaped the plantation in Barbados are headed to St. Vincent. So, and of course, so many Barbadians who went to St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean islands. But anyhow, so this is just my little gift to you, but I'll let Leo explain exactly why Marie and Giovanni are here with us in Barbados this week.
So Leo, you have been involved.
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning to you,
good morning.
Ambassador and colleagues here. Well, to go straight to the point, the CARICOM Secretariat, as part of our public education outreach and empowerment program that we have in close collaboration with the European Union under the 11th EDF. We've mounted a series of programs called our Skills Workers programs. The program had, I say had because this is the final component of the program. We focused on exchanges among secondary school teachers. We looked at bringing CSME officials together, and we had CARICOM Youth Ambassadors meeting in Georgetown for a period of, I think it was 2 weeks. The Teachers Attachment Program, exchange program was a 2-week program, and we have the Border Officials Attachment Exchange Program, which is a 1-week program. And what we've done in this program is we've had host countries. We had Belize first, followed by Guyana, and now Barbados, hosting officials who work at the border in the member states of CARICOM. And by border, we speak about your immigration officers, your customs officers, your officers responsible for plant and health quarantine, and of course also officers who from the medical facility, the medical institution, who do the screening at the point of entry. And we saw that very alive during COVID.
Yes.
So as we know, the CSME is centered on the 5 pillars of free movement, a core pillar being free movement of people, and movement of goods, of course, but people at the heart of it. And you have those are the officials who actually give life to the policies of our heads of government and ministers and for the organs. So it makes good sense to have these officials, one, be fully familiar and aware of what is the latest positions and policies that they have to implement in the normal course of work, as well as for them to have among themselves as officials at the border the establishment of networks of cooperation, so that when the colleague from Belize would have left here, he would have met with officials from Jamaica, from Barbados. He would have met with Haiti, Dominica. And so the future now for him is that when he picks up his phone and he calls, he's speaking to a colleague who he knows, who have established a relationship with him, and of course my colleague from Jamaica also. So this is what the program, the attachment program, is meant to do. It's meant to build information and knowledge at the frontline officers, build a network, establish beyond the official interchanges camaraderie, and at the end of the day, we are trying to build advocates for the CSME. Because you would know, an ambassador commissioner says this all the time on the program, the CSME is perhaps the only option that we have developed to secure our own national and regional economic development. And this is perhaps even more important now, given what we've seen happening, the geopolitical environment we currently live and face. So this gives you a sense as to what this is all about.
You've set yourself some lofty goals as well, and you're quite right. Understanding and knowing better each other helps us not just to be able to communicate, but to have a sense of appreciation for the nuances as well. This is not the first time that you're doing this.
No, the first program, well, this is under the 11th EDF.
Right.
This is...
Explain to him what the EDF is.
Sorry, my bad. So the European Union, in collaboration with the CARICOM Secretariat, we have this program of financing that addresses different areas that the community would have identified as priority areas for support. So through resources from the European Union, we're able to pay for the airfares and the hotel accommodation and per diems for these officers to move and to do this exchange. I say it's not the first time that we've done that. Similar programs have been done in the past. In fact, I don't know if you recall, Ambassador, at one time we had students, groups of students from the different member states, literally high school students. We had in the region of sometimes 20 of them.
But if I may,
moving around.
If I may, what makes this particular exercise so important now is that we are on the verge of implementing the full freedom of movement regime. So right now what we have in place is the skills. We have, movement regime in place, but right now it is limited to the skills nationals, where people who have certain skills are entitled to move freely, to work, to live. Right of establishment, people who want to move to establish a new business in a CARICOM member state, and service providers. So that's what is in place right now. And as Marie goes and engages with her Barbadian immigration, her peers in the Barbados Immigration Department, as Giovanni with his peers in the Customs Department, they will be seeing what Barbados has put in place to deal with the skills national regime, the right of establishment regime, the services regime. But very importantly, we are now in the process of developing new administrative procedures. We are now in the process of looking at what laws we have to amend to transition from those regimes to the full freedom of movement regime. So, so they're coming to Barbados now, and having this engagement is perhaps even more significant than other programs like this in the past, because we are on the verge of moving to this full freedom of movement. And
that's one of the things that excites people of the Caribbean. They can't wait basically to get going on this. So from where you sit, Mr. Prevel, give me a sense of how far along the chain towards success and a full implementation are we?
Well, the decision was taken to move towards full free movement at the 45th meeting of the conference in July of 2023. And Ambassador Commissioner was actually one of the persons who headed the intergovernmental task force tasked with making that happen. In February of this year, the heads, when they met in Barbados, decided that perhaps the better way to go to achieve that at a faster rate was to ensure that we have what we call a protocol on enhanced cooperation, which is a protocol which was not yet being provisionally applied because not all member states had signed that protocol. Good news, all member states have now signed that protocol, and this protocol is meant to allow those member states who wish to move ahead with a particular area that the revised treaty has already identified as a common goal to move ahead with that area, while others may not be in a position to, and they could join in a little later. So the free movement that Ambassador Commission spoke to, we have some member states, at least one member state has indicated, it may not at this time be able to participate. And therefore, for those who wish to participate in full free movement, that vehicle called the Protocol on Enhanced Cooperation is at a point now where it is with the decisions as to who participates and who does not is with member states. The conference, when they met in February and then subsequently in April, took some decisions, one of them being that states should indicate by the 1st of June whether they would be ready to move, utilizing the protocol on enhanced cooperation to move to full free movement. So this is essentially where we are at now, awaiting responses from member states that so wish to move forward, and there would be a process for that to happen. Those member states would so have to make that type of declaration at the next meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government, which would be on from the 6th of July. That would be held in Jamaica. And so I would say what we need to look forward to now is that next meeting of the conference in Jamaica on the 6th of July, 6th to the 7th of July. We would see what comes out of that.
Pearson, let me say that Barbados has already decided that we are moving ahead. Yes. So we want that word to go out to the Barbadian people. In fact, we are just now waiting on the CARICOM Secretariat to send us the template, the document that we have to fill out to send back to them to indicate that we are starting. And so yes, so we have already started to look at what new procedures our immigration are going to have to put in place, what new procedures our customs are going to have to put in place. So we are very happy that you guys are here to engage with our officers and to help us to think through actually some of these new processes.
And thinking through, we'll hear those thoughts right after this break. Back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 22 past the hour now as we continue our conversations on CARICOM, engaging with the CARICOM Community Secretariat, looking at the single market and economy, the free movement of people, border control, customs control, all of those things, and how do we, together as a region, make it easier for people to move and do business and live and work and enjoy the spaces where they are. So with us this morning is Leo Preville, who is the director of that CARICOM Secretariat. He's brought along with him Giovanni Zeeb from Belize and Mary Lou from Jamaica. Mary, I'll start with you. Talk to me a little bit about what you've experienced since you've been in Barbados as it relates to what you're here to do.
Okay. Well, first let me say thank you, Barbados, on behalf of the fellow participants from Dominica, Haiti, Belize. We wanted to say thank you for being gracious hosts. What we've learned so far, well, you know, it's about facilitation. And we have seen that, you know, just walking through immigration on Sunday, it was smooth sailing, right? No questions asked, right? All we had to do was present our passports, and it was free, as we would want it to be, right? And so what we're here to experience is how we can learn from those best practices from our fellow, you know, neighbors, and how we can bring those best practices back into our own member state and, you know, develop on it, improve on what we have in our own countries to have this seamless movement of our people, right? So for us, it's about learning, observing what is good, and bringing back those best practices, being advocates for CSME and ensuring that the public is aware of what's happening, what they are to expect, right? And, you know, as Commissioner said, to move towards that full free movement of our people.
Is there one little thing so far that you've experienced that you wish could be eliminated or replaced? And if so, what is it?
What would I say? What would I say?
It's still early.
It's still very early because, as you said, we came in on Sunday, and Monday, you know, it was just about orientation and learning about the program, getting a view of what we should expect. So it's still early. Yeah, it's still early.
All right. So from Belize's perspective as a customs control officer now, let's talk a little bit about what you think needs to be in place to make sure that, as we do as a people of the region, that we get done without having to feel as though we are second class or someone else is better than ourselves.
Okay, so as Marie just mentioned, it's the first day. We've only done one day, so we've met with the deputy controllers of customs, and they gave us a presentation, and it was a discussion. We were able to ask questions, and they have taken the risk management approach, which is being promoted as well. So when Marie talked about the facilitation of entering through the airport, immigration and customs, I think all that is based on risk management, where for customs, we're moving away from having to check 100%. Because we're saying if a company is importing, you look at their likelihood of infractions, and if this person has a good compliance, then you can use your resources in other things other than concentrating on a compliant importer. So for customs, that's one thing that we're moving to. So we're going to be here, the team from Belize, we have representation from customs, immigration, public health, and the trade office. So we're because my concentration is on customs, and Marie, or immigration, is people. Well, I'm mostly cargo. So we're getting a full picture of what's going on, and we have representations from all areas. So we're hoping to get the full picture, and we can take that back to Belize.
And that's what it's about, Leo. Just looking at all of the aspects of border protection, basically, and how people really do business and move in the region, so that we can better have a game plan, so to speak, so that we are able to allow people to be able to do what they do. And I say that deliberately, allow rather than disallow, because oftentimes people feel when they come to the border, immigration is prepared to disallow. Customs is prepared to disallow. And that becomes a bottleneck for a lot of people of the region.
In fact, we, under this program, I'm happy my colleague from Belize mentioned the team, because we're actually funding 3 persons under this program per member state. And in the case of Barbados, I must tell you, Barbados has taken this thing very seriously. So Barbados was, the member state Barbados visited on the exchange program was Belize. And on that mission, in addition to the 3 persons that the program funded, the government of Barbados paid independently for 2 extra persons to attend. And you see, this is reflective of how important, the level of importance assigned to that, as demonstrated by Barbados. So the whole idea is to get, as Marie explained, is to get to see best practices, is to share their experiences. And in the language we use now, we say effective best practices. And so at the end of this exercise, it is not a one-way flow of information. It is a commingling of experiences and ideas. And out of that, you know, Caribbean people always create new solutions and solve problems.
Well,
that's the idea.
I wanted to say that because although well, you know, we feel in Barbados that we do have a number of best practices. You know, I give you one example. Our Barbados Accreditation Council, the instruction was given to our Barbados Accreditation Council. That's the organization in Barbados that issues the CARICOM skills certificates and that certifies CARICOM skills certificates coming in from other countries. But we set ourselves the goal of 1 week to issue a CARICOM skills certificate. One week, you know, and we do meet that. Except in circumstances where there's some really complicating factor. But a routine CARICOM skills certificate in Barbados should be done within the space of 1 week. So you actually have people from other CARICOM countries that come into Barbados to apply for their CARICOM skills certificate in Barbados. You know, so we think that that's like a regional best practice, but we know that we are not perfect, and we know that as they engage with our immigration and customs and port health officers, that they, because they're here for a week, they're going to have that engagement over a period of a week, that they will see things that we can improve on. Because you hit the note on the head, the nail on the head. It's about how we make our CARICOM brothers and sisters feel welcome, that they're treated just as if they were a citizen of the country. And that's really what it's all about. And to work out the administrative procedures, the operational procedures that accomplishes that, to make people feel welcome and to facilitate them as much as possible, while at the same time having an eye to security.
Yes.
Because yes, you still have to look at, you don't want someone coming in who might be a national security threat,
Threat.
Yeah.
somebody with a criminal record that you really want to keep that person out. So immigration still has that kind of role to perform, and likewise customs, you still don't want, So it is striking that balance, but striving all the time to make our CARICOM brothers and sisters feel as they're part of the family.
And that's so very, very critical, because we understand I'm speaking as the layman here, you guys are the technocrats. We understand the purpose for immigration and customs control. We get it. We just don't want to feel as though it is used punitively against us.
Yes.
Because we already get it. And so it's good to know that the movement, Leo, from your secretariat, is that we want to be able now to make the process a whole lot more meaningful for that Caribbean traveler. That we feel that when we come home, and to be able to say that I'm going to go to Jamaica, I'm going home. When I go to Belize, I'm going home. And to feel as though my home welcomes me.
Absolutely.
And not make me feel like the stranger that they might think I am. But at the same time, there are different borders. There's we have the ports of entry, but for instance, Belize has just on one side the sea, on the other side they have land. That they're fighting against the movement of goods and services, and so is that a part of your construct when you're thinking, or is border control just global in our view when we come to talking about security?
Well, I'm happy you raised Belize. Belize presents, like Guyana and Suriname, would present different challenges. We have sea borders.
Yeah.
They have sea and land borders. So the officers who would have gone to Belize, for instance, would have seen, and some of them would never conceptualize how, from an island perspective, how do they manage this? And Belize is not a small place.
No.
So you have size, you have different dimensions, and at the same time, from a CARICOM perspective, our focus is on seeing how we facilitate, which is really what you're focusing on. It's facilitate the movement, but it's not reckless facilitation. So we must have rules and regulations. But what we try to do, two things we try to achieve. We try to simplify those rules as much as possible, and then we try to harmonize those rules. So you get an expectation of how you are treated in Jamaica at the border should be similar to how you're treated in Barbados upon arrival and in St. Lucia or Guyana. So the whole idea is simplification and harmonization in creating that single space for our people to move. That's the focus.
One of the barriers often is language. I know you mentioned Haiti, French, and for us in the Caribbean, all we know is our dialect and a little bit of English as we go. So is that also being tackled in this process that you're having this week?
I'm happy you mentioned Haiti, and I'm very, very happy, and I wish to publicly commend the government of Barbados for ensuring that at short notice we were able to get our Haitian colleagues to be in Barbados, and one of them had to have a special accommodation for visa purposes because that officer did not have an official or diplomatic passport, and the government of Barbados made it happen. So with Haiti, yes, Haiti is actually part of this exchange, and we will be having 3 officers here. Haiti poses a particular challenge at this time because of more internal issues, issues that need settling. Haiti is a full member of the CSME. Let's be very clear about that. What needs to be done, essentially the core issues, Haiti needs to be a party to the agreement established in the CCJ, and Haiti needs to establish exactly what the Ambassador Commission spoke of, the necessary internal regulatory and administrative procedures to allow the CSME to take effect as it should. But without that stable environment for these things to happen, we have those challenges. So we were able to bring Haitians into this program by they coming in. But unfortunately, we've not as a region been able to implement a number of the programs we would have loved to go in country to do. A country mission to Haiti. We were not able to do this at this time. As we speak, Ambassador, you'll be aware we are undertaking a number of member state visits where we're looking at implementation procedures, how the CSM is being implemented, and getting feedback from stakeholders. We've so far done St. Lucia, St. Vincent, we've done St. Kitts, we've done Antigua, we've done Trinidad and Tobago, we've done Belize, and we'll be moving to Grenada next week and hopefully Jamaica in June. And the whole idea is to let persons in the member states feel CARICOM being present, to receive input that could make our work programs more reflective of the needs of the member states on the ground. So I say all this to say we would love to have done that in Haiti at this time because resources were made available for it, but it could not be done because of the situation.
Haiti is the youngest full member of CARICOM. So Haiti is still, in a sense, a new kid on the block and trying to find its feet and trying to fully fit into our integration mechanisms. Haiti will not be participating at the outset in the full freedom of movement regime for obvious reasons, all the instability that currently exists. But many of the things that we already have in place, like the CARICOM Skills National Program, Haiti needs to come on board with these things, because if those programs were put in place in Haiti, it would make it easier for Haitians to actually move and be accommodated. So, we have Jamaica, we have Belize, but we also have officers from Dominica and Haiti with us in Barbados this week. So it would be my hope that they could really bond with their Haitian counterparts here. Because we need to help Haiti to make that transition to full participation in our regional arrangements.
So, Marie, you're here for the rest of until the 16th or beyond, and so talk to me a bit about what are your expectations at the end of it all.
Okay, so as I would have said before, it's just really about observing what happens and to take away from that the good things, and also to share what we have been doing in Jamaica, and to see how whether or not those things that we do in Jamaica, the good things, can be also adopted, right? So my expectation really is about that, getting learning what's happening, in all the other member states that are present here, and taking from that, and also to build networks, with my colleagues, right? We talk about Haiti. We also want to understand what's happening there, meeting with the persons that are here and understanding firsthand from them what's happening and how we possibly can help, because we're seeing a lot of movement. And sometimes you sit there as an immigration officer and you can't help, it's what you do. So naturally that's what comes first. You're looking at the risk and all of that. But we really would like to understand what's happening in country and how best we can help you, right? So it's my expectation really is about, how we can move along this CSME, the idea of free movement, facilitation, how we can now introduce risk-based techniques in our immigration practices, because I believe that is what we need to move towards. We have taken steps, right? But that is what we need to move towards in breaking down these borders that we have, whether it's land or sea. But in order for the CSME to really work, and for us to, as individual nations, understand that the silo that we're in, it needs to go in order for the movement to work.
Indeed.
The initiative to work. It's not going to work if we continue to be in our own little worlds. It won't work.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And Giovanni, do you have the same view, or do you have any other view?
Well, I share the view of the opportunity to create networks. And as Mr. Preville mentioned, the word harmonization, that's one of the aims that I think I want to contribute to. We're looking at Barbados, and we're going to be visiting different organizations and different spots, and so it's my aim to be able to help my brothers in Barbados. It's like when you're doing something, it's your perspective, but when you have outside perspective, then you might see it in a different light. So that's the purpose of the visiting member states. It's like, I remember back in school, when you would take a test, the teacher would say, exchange papers, you check hers and she check yours, and you see the little mistakes, and then you make recommendations. So that's basically what we're here to do, to evaluate and see the implementation of what they have, and what we can learn from them, because they might have stuff that we don't have. And so when we see it in practice, and this new being here in person makes a difference than being online looking at a monitor. And it's not that you don't get the real juice of it. Yes. So being here in person, I mean, I've taken courses and presentations about CSME and CARICOM and everything, and yesterday being in person with Mr. Preville, his presentation pointed out certain things, and I was there face to face, and so you got the real deal, right? So, and the interaction was live, so it takes away all the hassle of being online. So
I get you.
Barbados is all love, though. When we're here, we feel at home. We drove around this a bit yesterday, and my colleagues mentioned from Belize, oh, this looks like Belize City, and it looks like this. So you feel at home when you're in Barbados.
And that's what we want to hear from our Caribbean people, that this feels like home when you're in Barbados, because we see ourselves and we look familiar. We see places and it looks familiar. And so that's what we want to be able to engage a whole lot more in with this free movement of people across the region. And so time is against me now, Ambassador. So again, this runs until the 16th. Is being hosted in Barbados at the moment by the CARICOM Secretariat. And out of this, we're hoping to be able to enhance cooperation, better understanding of each other, better understanding of our borders and the best practices as well, to be able to improve all of that and to be able to allow our people to move.
Yes, it's another step forward. And as I said, it's coming at a very important time, because we are now on the verge of that transition, at least some of us, to full freedom of movement. And it's all it's about our Caribbean civilization. And Leo began by pointing out the increasingly difficult world in which we live. And we have to understand that the only thing we really have is each other. And let's pull this community together in the best way possible. And let's create a first class space for us to live and to enjoy life and to provide opportunities for our children and grandchildren.
I had a lecturer at UWI, Jamaica, and he said, and he was so right. He said the Caribbean is the center of the world. When he first said that, I said to myself, this guy is a madman. But when he went on, and he is actually a lecturer of history, he said, if you study the growth of industrialization in Europe, it actually revolved around what happened, which I'm happy that
Leo, you're going to find that story in this book.
We here in the Caribbean have been the ones who have generated so much of the wealth that the world has. And wealth does not disappear. It only changes hands and multiplies. So we are people who have created, and we will continue to create, but we need to, as Marie said, take down the silos. That independence, to a large extent, has brought,
Yes.
and let us see how we could work together.
All right. Well said, Leo. Thank you, Ambassador. Ambassador David Commission, Barbados Ambassadors to CARICOM, and Leo Prevel, who is the chair of the Single Market and Economy, secretary and the director, really. With him is Giovanni Zeeb, who's from the Belize Customs Department, and Mary Lou from the Jamaica Immigration Department. Indeed, welcome to Barbados. Welcome home. And I hope that you really take back from Barbados to your people where you go, you know, all the best practices, truly best practices. And you're right. Let's break down those silos. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you.
Morning Barbados breaks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. We have been telling you about this, folks. We have been telling you about this Make a Book project. It is now over, and we're winners. We have winners indeed. Curtis Padmore, who has been leading all of this effort, is back with us this morning. Mr. Padmore, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
How do you feel now it's all done?
Elated, as happy as the children. You should have seen their faces at the award ceremony on Saturday. And I think there's a lot to be happy about. We had a good session.
So what is there to be happy about? You said there's a lot.
A lot.
What are some
Okay,
of those
so
lots?
I got some stats. I'm a numbers guy. We had almost 100 entries across the competition. We had submissions from 21 primary schools. We've got 17 winners, of which, interestingly, 62% of the winners are boys.
Nice.
And however, our most winningest student is a girl. We have some schools that really stood out. St. Gabriel's Primary has had 7 winners from the school. And we've had 3 other primary schools, each with 2 winners. Those are Wicked Cumberbatch, Blackman and Gollop, and also Bay Primary. And also, we should highlight that we had to follow up. We promised we'd follow up with our class 4s, and we sent 23 detailed composition reports to them.
Fantastic. All well done indeed. So can we show the winners? Let's take a look at these winners. I can't wait to see who they are and what they did. So what are we about to see now?
Well, we've got a nice package for you that highlights all of our partners, all of the schools, the teachers, even the lessons teachers, and also the book covers of those compositions that are being converted to storybooks. And we've even done illustrations of the winners that will be highlighted in those books. So you'll see it looks awesome, and I want Barbados to see it.
All right, let's take a look.
Kids across Barbados, it's your time. Stories from your hearts, let your words shine. Write your tale, adventure waits for you. Your imagination making dreams come true. Make a book, share your story. Read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. From your classroom straight to the library shelf, express your creativity, believe in yourself. Pen to paper, let your stories flow, building pride and literacy, watch us grow. Make a book, share your story, read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. Across Barbados, it's your time. Stories from your hearts, let your words shine. Write your tale, adventure waits for you. Your imagination, making dreams come true. Make a book, share your story. Read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. From your classroom straight to the library shelf, express your creativity, believe in yourself. Pen to paper, let your stories flow, building pride and literacy, watch us grow. Make a book, share your story, read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. Kids across Barbados, it's your time. Stories from your hearts, let your words shine. Write your tale, adventure waits for you. Your imagination making dreams come true. Make a book, share your story. Read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. From your classroom straight to the library shelf, express your creativity, believe in yourself. Pen to paper, let your stories flow, building pride and literacy, watch us grow. Make a book, share your story, read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. Kids across Barbados, it's your time. Stories from your hearts, let your words shine. Write your tale, adventure waits for you. Your imagination making dreams come true. Make a book, share your story. Read it loud, read it proud, inspire more. Make a book, feel the glory, turning children's words into books galore. From your classroom straight to the library shelf.
That's brilliant. Brilliant, Curtis, indeed. And I'm sure as the team lead, you must feel so proud of the contributions and the great work that was sent in by the children.
Absolutely. We had some amazing compositions. We definitely have some very talented students, and you can see the support around them, the parents, the teachers, and even the lessons teachers that attended the award ceremony. And you can see the attention and the attentiveness that would be like watering a young plant, making sure that it grows up well in the garden. So I'm very happy.
Indeed. And so for those who may have missed the reason, the why behind all of this, could you just share that again briefly for them?
Sure, let's go back a little bit. So this all started as far back as 2023, and seeing some of the challenges coming out of COVID. And COVID really gave us a sucker punch to the education system, and our reading and even our literacy and numeracy took a little bit of a step back. So we wanted to find a way to inspire kids to read, write, and imagine more. And what better way than inspiring children to read, write for other children? I think that's the way to go.
And it was truly the way to go. And so based on the numbers we shared earlier, we've had great success this time around. The question then is, what happens next? We have these, we've seen what has been created, how do we now access it, and what happens next?
Well, we've already uploaded to our website, so you'll see all of our book covers on themakeabookproject.com. That's themakeabookproject.com. So you'll see all of our book covers being promoted there. The books are being prepped for upload into the library system as we speak, and we're in just the final stages. And what's next for the Make a Book project? We are planning the summer camp edition with the National Library Service. It's envisioned that we could have celebrity readers. I might call upon you, Pearson. You've got a wonderful voice.
Me, thank you.
And have the books created from this iteration be part of the reading sessions at the library camp. We're hoping that those reading sessions could even be publicly viewed, even live streamed.
That'll be so interesting indeed, and I really hope it happens. I'm happy to see that there were so many young boys who've entered, young girls as well, but the boys in particular, because boys tend to shy away from doing a lot of these things. They think it's a girl thing nowadays. I'm glad you're breaking that stereotype once again to be able to encourage boys to be actively engaged in reading and writing. And so, folks, it's now done. Themakeabookproject.com is where you can go to see the covers, your little cover, your niece, your nephew, your boy, child, even so. And very soon they'll be uploaded onto the website so we can all see.
The National Library Service.
The National Library Service. And we can all see and read for ourselves and support the writing skills of our young people indeed. I'm glad that the teachers have been able to receive as well your assessments of the essays written by the children as well. How have they responded to that, by the way?
All the teachers that attend, you can see the love and attention they give to the students. You got to give the teachers their flowers. They've got a job that requires a lot of attention and focus. And I think the holy trinity of education is parent, teacher, and school. So once we got that cemented well, then it only adds to the foundation that the education system is built upon.
When is the next project, by the way? When is the next Make a Book project to be launched?
Well, we've got the next iteration being planned for the National Library Summer Camp, but the next Trinity Term edition, which is this edition, is being planned for 2026. So we've been collecting a lot of data to see how best we can make things more efficient, how we can improve and create a bigger impact in 2026.
Fantastic. We can't wait for 2026 because we know what 2025 delivered indeed. And so Curtis Padmore, team lead for Make a Book Project. Remember, go to the website, themakeabookproject.com. Spell it all out together and you will see what's been produced for 2025 and get ready for 2026. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you as well.
You're welcome indeed. We're coming back in just a moment with the news and more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to...
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at news now. Government wants to make it easier for the average citizen to access insurance services and for insurance companies to invest in building financial resilience locally and regionally. Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ryan Strawn, says to achieve this, the government is working to make necessary adjustments and improvements to the regulatory framework for insurance companies. He was addressing the CARICOM's 36th Annual Sales Congress 2025 at the Wyndham Grand Hotel.
Things done, but that also means a change with respect to acquiring data, sharing data, and protecting data.
Minister Strawn adds that with increasing concerns about fraud, insurance advisors and other stakeholders play a critical role in helping regulators as well as policymakers change and update information as required.
But you stand in the breach to be able to validate whether a client is legitimate or not. And I believe fundamentally, ladies and gentlemen, that the work that you must continue to do will make the difference, the very defining difference with respect to the future of the Caribbean.
Over 400 delegates from across the region and beyond are attending the Congress, during which they will look beyond the present to the future roles their companies, products, and services will play in preserving civilization. Congress Director Tyrone Lowe says attendees will be inspired and motivated to improve their business practices and to commit to their career as financial advisors.
It is a life calling. Don't just try it because there's nothing else to do. It is a career. And so we have assembled a team of well-trained, very knowledgeable and experienced local, regional and international speakers who will motivate you to achieve the objectives of the Congress. I'm also happy to say that we have opportunity for persons to make personal appointments with our counselors and psychologists. We see this as real clinical and practical engagement to strengthen your mental and emotional fortitude.
The Congress is being held from May 11 to 15 under the theme Unbreakable, Unmovable, Unstoppable. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Employers need more time to consider and adjust to the minimum wage. The call from Executive Director of the Barbados Employers Confederation, Sheena Mears-Granville, in light of the recent announcement of a revision of the minimum wage by Minister of Labour Colin Jordan. That revelation comes as the BEC begins its week of activities. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The Executive Director of the Barbados Employers Confederation, Sheena Mears-Granville, says adequate notice should be given to any changes to the minimum wage. And she points to a 40-day grace period that is allowed for the public to make comments or objections.
We have consistently said that employers need adequate notice of changes to the minimum wage. We have to consider the fact that businesses do budgeting, they do forecasting, they engage in contract negotiation, and therefore telling anyone that your rates are going to change in the next 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, we don't think that that's adequate notice. So we've consistently said there needs to be an adequate notice of changes to the minimum wage.
Against the theme, Navigating Tomorrow, Shaping Barbados in the Age of Change, the BEC head says they have added their input to the establishment of an employment rights tribunal, which is also on the cards.
We have given feedback on the Employment Rights Act. That is something that we have been engaging with the ministry for a number of years. We have also given feedback on draft rules for the Employment Rights Tribunal. As you well know, the tribunal. There's a move to have a full-time tribunal and to restructure that and to have more rules and process in place around the Employment Rights Tribunal.
Ms. Mears Granville says the BEC has among its advocacy initiatives a call for a labour code.
We would have done extensive research where we highlighted some of the deficiencies across our labour legislation and came to advocate for a national labour code where we seek to have a cohesive set of legislation, which means that we don't have to refer to various pieces and have different definitions, etc. So that is one of the key areas that we are promoting.
Manager Administrative Services, Aleka Walker, says a number of highly skilled persons are included in the BEC's agenda to share their knowledge and experience at various events.
And on Wednesday, May 14th, we have our annual general meeting, and directly after that, we have a business luncheon. During this business luncheon, our topic is Barbados, a brain drain nation, or expat haven.
The Barbados Employers Confederation Week of Activities will set the tone for their celebrations of their 69th anniversary in July. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Over 300 students apply for the Barbados Community College nursing program annually, but there is still a great need for males to sign up for the program. Principal Annette Aline says the college needs to take a closer look at what's happening at both primary and secondary levels. She was speaking as 3 students were awarded the Ramona Maskell Memorial Scholarship, sponsored by CIBC Caribbean. Rachel Agard reports.
3 nursing students have been awarded this year's Ramona Maskell Memorial Scholarships, which are sponsored by CIBC Caribbean and valued at $2,000 each. They are Sharice Oliver, Ayrton White, and Jason Allen. To earn it, they had to achieve a minimum grade point average, or GPA, of 3.0, while having the required clinical competence and effective communication, as well as demonstrating professionalism, ethics, integrity, and respect for academic and clinical interactions. While 2 of this year's recipients are male, Registrar at the Barbados Community College, Roger Worrell, says in some groups of 30 nurses, there are only 2 males.
Generally speaking, nursing is seen as a female profession. I think we have to admit that. But as we go along, we will try to encourage more nurses, more male nurses to get into the program. We don't have a lot of applicants in the first place to choose from, so that is the challenge. So the vast majority of persons who apply to nursing are actually female, and that is the reality.
Principal Annette Ali notes there are other programs which are overwhelmed with male applicants. She suggests that what is being done to attract those students can be emulated in other faculties, adding that tertiary institutions may have to relook gender disparity.
All of our programs, all of them are under review and revision. So they're either at the stage of review or revision. And part of that is to make sure that we remain relevant. We are looking at collaborating with other agencies like National Transformation Initiative, where they have some excellent programs in place. Because in this age, with the technological advances that you have, none of these institutions can keep up by themselves with the required change for curriculum reform or curriculum elevation, advancement, and responses to the national needs. So we have to collaborate with other institutions.
Head of Country Barbados, CIBC Caribbean, Kimar Polias, reminds the students that nursing is a calling and a commitment to helping others.
When most of us are sleeping at night, or you may be on night duty working with people who are ill, that is the type of commitment you are making. When your friends are off to party, pop over around the corner, party, you may be headed to work, far from the music and fancy clothes and the fetting. This is the commitment you are making, and that is why I say you're undertaking a calling. Yours is more than a job, and for that I want to say thank you.
Ms. Aline adds the BCC is also looking to expand some of its programming, but in order to do so, more resources are needed. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
To sports now, over 200 athletes have already signed up for the 21st edition of the National Seniors Games. That update was provided yesterday by organizers during a media briefing at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. The games will start on the 24th of May in Bridgetown with a motorcade and launch, followed by a series of events. On the 9th of June, the date for the track component at the Ryan Brathwaite track, while Queen's College will be the venue for the field events, which start on the 31st of May. Coordinator of the track and field component, Mac Fingal, says they're catering to both first-timers and seasoned competitive athletes.
Along with trying to get those two areas with the gap, with the competitive and the recreational, we also invited the essential services. We want those to come and compete. We have the Defense Force involved, we have the police service involved. The Coast Guard is coming also, but the Coast Guard and Defense Force are all entwined. But then you have customs, you got the prison service, and you got immigration. And did I say fire service too? Yeah, we got. Yeah. So there's 6 entities there. And the police have promised me 2 teams, one from the training school and one from the regular police. And I believe that the Defense Force, they said they got the team. I know the Custom got a team. Also, the Prison Service got a team. Fire Service got a team. We're still going to get the immigration team, but we are in conversation with them.
Meanwhile, coordinator of the Games, Itania Wiggins, says the Games will align with the ongoing regathering celebrations.
We've aligned ourselves with key partners, including BARP, and we've deepened our relationship this year with them. And we've been doing pop-up events as we've mixed with regathering. We were in St. John on Saturday at their sports day, and we had people from St. John signing up. As you know, this year you're representing your parish, and because of our digital registration, we have statistics as to which parishes are registering. And I told Mr. Fingal, I don't see St. Philip really in the top 6 parishes, so the capital got to decide what they're going to do. And that is something that we think will work this year. It was done before, but because of the regathering concept, we've noticed that a lot more people are registering under their parishes. So we want to encourage you to come out and give your parish a point any way you can. Top 4 parishes will be on the podium for sure.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey urged Barbadians to support the Games, and he re-emphasized that Barbados is fast becoming a super-aged society. Therefore, attention must be paid to health and active aging.
And the super-aged society obviously comes with its own concerns. You have more people who are going to be in need of care as they get older. You have, considering Barbados is producing less children, you have a smaller workforce. So there is a thing called a dependency ratio, and I want you all to get this because this is so important. This is why I think that we hadn't planned very well. There's a thing called a dependency ratio. The dependency ratio essentially is the amount of persons who are not working, who have to be supported, in relation to the amount of persons who are working. So people under 16 and people over 65 tend to want support. And that group is supported by the working population, which is dwindling. So essentially you have a larger aging population and a smaller workforce to be able to support that population. And if that population is unhealthy, then the cost of supporting that population becomes even more impactful.
Well, that's our news until now. More news here on TV8 at 12 noon. Morning Barbados comes right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 14 minutes now after 7 o'clock here on a Tuesday morning, and you know I look forward to this all the time. When Tony Oldham comes by, I sit up straight and I pay close attention. I hope you are too as well, because we're continuing our journey towards emotional intelligence, and in this segment we're looking at self-management, which is so absolutely critical. You really can't control anyone else but yourself when you come to think of it. When you seek to control someone else, you are creating a conflict. And Tony says yes.
Yes.
So that's true. Tony Morning.
And that disturbance happens on the inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Why does it happen on the inside? And then we show it outwardly.
Because remember, we talked about emotions being your chemical responses to the experiences that you're having, whether they be on the outside or your own thinking. So it happens on the inside, is what Scripture tells me.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
As a man
thinketh, so is he.
That's
it comes right out indeed. So the better you're able to control inside, the better you're able to display a more controlled person.
You can be more appropriate, more measured, more strategic.
Yeah. So very important. And that starts with you, ladies and gentlemen. That starts with you. I can't emphasize it enough. It starts with you. We tend to want to reflect and blame someone else.
Yes.
And it's not the someone else, it's you.
Yeah. And when you get there, remind yourself that when I am there, I'm functioning from a place of weakness.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
I'm
right.
undermining myself. I think it is the other person, but I'm really undermining me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's manage ourselves a whole lot better. So today we want to look at being able to do so continually. We've begun the practice of it. And as with children, you allow them to stand up and walk, they fall, but you don't grab them every time that they try. You just want them to get stronger and stronger. They stumble a bit, and you're just there to protect, but then you let them fly on their own. And that's what we're seeking to do with you. And I think we have a responsibility, each of us, to be able to strengthen that emotional muscle, or those muscles, as we go as well.
I love the metaphor, or emotional muscle. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And building muscle requires intentionality, requires practice.
And so, but it requires a plan. That's the intentionality here.
Yes.
But that plan must be devised in such a way that it makes sense.
And starts with your thinking.
Yeah.
It starts with your thinking. Yeah? So your mindset, your belief system, you know, the quotation says that we see the world not as it is. We see the world as we are. That whenever I'm describing out there, I'm really describing what's in here. Yeah? When we walk through life, you and I can have what on the surface appears to be the same experience.
Yes, yes.
But when we respond, you and I respond differently, because our response is not based upon the experience per se. Our response is based upon our interpretation of the experience.
So you could be in a room with this is going off a different subject, but it's all tied in. In a room with you and I here sitting.
Yes.
And our experiences are different, even though the lights are all the same, the
cameras,
everything's the same. Nothing has changed about them.
But we're each processing the experience we're having differently. And what leaves us is a function of our perception or interpretation, and not the actual thing that happened.
So what conditions that painting of what I experienced?
Yes. Because our brains make sense of the present, referencing the past.
Yes.
And our pasts, plural, are different. We've just walked different paths.
But can we avoid our past?
You can't avoid your past. The trick, the magic is to learn from the past. That's the challenge. Do I use my past just to blame my present experience, or do I use my past so they can become more strategic? In other words, here's the example I often give. If on your way from home this morning there was a major incident, let's say there was a crater in the road, so you had to divert and take a long way around, so you got to work late. When you're going back home this evening, what are you going to do?
Not that road.
Why not?
Are you kidding me? That crater caused me all that diversion?
Yeah.
I'm smarter now.
So you've had, so you've had the experience, and now you can make a decision, because you know, if I go back that way, here's what is likely to happen. I don't want that to happen, so I need to take a different route.
Can you change that experience?
Can you change the experience?
Follow me for a minute. The thing I am today is in some way conditioned by my past.
It's highly conditioned.
Right.
Yes.
I cannot change the past.
That's, yeah.
And at nearly 90 years old me, I look good for it, right? At that stage of my life, what can I do about that thing that I wished I could have avoided?
What is my past teaching me about me?
Mm-hmm.
What is my past teaching me about life? You see, because if I don't learn the lessons of my past, guess what? I'm condemning myself to repeat the past, even though I don't want the repetition. If I don't learn the lessons of the past, I am condemning myself to repeat the past.
All right, so having met that reality, if I don't, I will condemn myself to repeat my past.
Yes.
And so I choose today to release myself from that jail of my past. What do I need to do to turn that key, to open that door, to step out the jail?
I must catch a very clear sense of my potential. What is it that I want in the future? You see, until I get that sense, my only point of reference again is my past. So here's the example that we use. If you want to flight from here to wherever, New York, London, on the plane, once the pilot has completed, the captain has completed his spiel, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, blah, 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 you get two bits of information on the monitor. One tells you your time and distance to your destination.
Yes, yes.
The other tells you your time and distance from your point of departure. Of those two pieces of information, which is the more important?
For me, flying to New York?
Yes.
How much more time I have still to go?
So where's your focus?
My destination.
My destination. But two things are happening at one at the same time. One of those two things. I am moving closer to my destination, and at the same time, I'm moving further away from my past. So the first thing you need to do is to get a very compelling sense of the future that I desire for myself. Yes? The second thing is the awareness that as I'm walking towards that desired future, sometimes I'm going to win, and sometimes I'm going to
lose.
No.
I get you, man.
No, Pearson, I got you again.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm going to win, sometimes I'm going to learn.
Yes. Yes.
If that is my mindset, when I stumble, when things don't quite work out, that's when I pause.
Right.
And I ask myself, what's the lesson?
Yes, yes, yes.
What do I need to do differently next time?
And lock it in. Lock it in.
So I'm now developing what we call a growth mindset.
Yes.
My attitude, my mindset, my belief tells me sometimes I'm going to win, and sometimes I'm going to learn.
And when I learn, again, I store it in that part of the brain that allows me to pull from it easily.
And I now call it wisdom.
Indeed. And I now call it wisdom. And all of this happens almost simultaneously.
Yes.
As we talked about the journey, as you're getting nearer to your destination, you're going also farther away from where you started.
That's right.
So all of that happens at the same time.
Yes.
And it's just to be able to be in the time, the space,
to be in the moment, to be present, to be mindful, all those things we've talked about.
Yes, yes.
To be in the moment, to be mindful, to be self-aware, and to recognize that in every moment of my life, I get to make a choice about three things. What do I think? What do I feel? And what do I do?
You know, you drive your car, right? And there are times when, as is the habit, you put the into a particular gear, and it will do exactly what you want, and then on a particular day, it does not. What do you do? Folks, seriously, what do you do? Do you hit panic mode, or do you simply try to work out what to do here now? And then the next time, what do you then do?
Yeah.
I think that's what I the win or learn.
Oh, so what do I learn? Yes, yes.
What have I learned that I would avoid the next time? And you do it because you see danger ahead should you not. Same thing with life, same thing with your emotions. If you don't learn from it, danger is ahead.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. So the skills to be able to check in and see what needs to happen, and then to do it indeed is what we're going to look at when we come right back after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
25 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock. Towards self-management is what we're talking about here as we continue our journey towards emotional intelligence indeed. And so, here we are. We cannot avoid our past. We can, however, learn from our past and be able to self-regulate better as it goes forward. So how do we adapt and how do we make change positive for all of us indeed? And so Tony Olton is continuing to help us here how to be adaptable and resilient as we go forward to it. So what are some of the steps you think I need to pay closer attention to?
What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to know? If you're going to be adaptable, if you're going to be resilient. We've all grown up hearing that change is the only constant in life. It is not. It is not. As I walk through life, do I have the awareness that life is also characterized by what we call duality or opposites? Night and day, darkness and light, good and evil, sweet and sour, tall and short. Because life... because one of the other constants in life is that life is all about opposites. What it means is that in every moment of my life is a moment in which I get to make a choice. That I can't stop life from happening. But do I have the awareness? Do I have the desire? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the skills that allow me to meet life and make choices that are in my best interest? Because life is about opposites. Life also presents another constant of always the choice of having to make choices. Again, choices about what I think. The choices I make about my thinking inform my feelings. My thinking and my feelings inform my behaving. So I have to be very intentional, very aware, and deliberate in my choice making. But I have to be careful. Because once I control my choices, I don't control the consequences of my choices. The consequences of my choices are already set up. And so one of the skills of being emotionally intelligent is what we call consequential thinking.
I'm smiling at this because, go ahead, you finish.
Consequential thinking.
I'll tell you why I smiled, because I often say to people, there's no right or wrong decision. The best decision you can make is the one with which you can live with the consequences.
Yes.
That's your best decision. So I can't give you the perfect answer. You determine you know the consequences. Assess your consequences.
And you always know the consequences.
You always know. So assess those consequences. Can you live with those consequences?
Yes.
And if you cannot live with them, that's not the
informs which choice you make.
Yes. So I had to smile at that.
So life is about opposites. Life is about choices. Life is about consequences. Yes. But life is also about principles. What does that mean? The consequences of my choices are informed by a set of natural principles that govern life. A principle operates regardless of time, place, person, or circumstance. The most fundamental principle that exists in the universe is called the law of the harvest. In other words, I always reap what I sow. In other words, every choice that I make has a predetermined outcome. So if I want, let's say, a meaningful relationship, what does that mean? I have to show up in a way that allows you to have a meaningful relationship with me. So I have to bring that. So whatever it is that I want, if I start putting it out in the universe, it says the universe is going to give back to me what is it I say that I want. If that is my thinking, attitude again, if that's my mindset, if that is my practice, I can be at peace, I can relax. So that regardless, Cannon Jones, when I was a boy at school, regardless of the vicissitudes I learned as a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, regardless of the vicissitudes, the to's and fro's, the curveballs that life are going to show me, I can be at peace. I can be at peace. Why? Because I become a conscious choice maker. I recognize I have to be careful with my choices because I don't control the consequences. So I'm only going to make choices that are going to get me the outcomes that I say that I want. I can be resilient. I can then be optimistic because I already know what is going to happen long before it happens.
Tony, that's a good point at which to end this morning, honestly.
Already?
How do you think I feel? Because I'm not done yet. But that's the same thing. So I have to control my reactions here now. But you're absolutely right. I hope, folks, that you've been paid close attention to. I know Norma, my friend, who says, I just loved watching you and Tony Olden engage. You know, Norms, we've just talked a whole lot, but it's a whole lot of good. And I really hope that you're absorbing folks and consciously making the effort to learn and to try and to check in with yourself and to learn again and to try one more time. You will find over time, everything falls into place beautifully indeed. Tony Olden, as always, thank you, my brother. Mornin Barbados is back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
26 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention now to the Barbados Tourism Youth Congress. I know that sounds like words to you, but I shall explain to you in this segment what those words really, really mean. It's a wonderful opportunity. And I hope for all of you parents watching that you pay close attention to, because the outcome of this, engaging in this Congress, your child can be a great beneficiary of. And so Marsha Armstrong, who is the program officer with the BTMI, is with me, and Marsha's really the brains, the energy, the everything, the hard worker behind all of the team, of course.
Thank you.
With all of this. Marsha, good to see you.
Good morning, and great to see you as well.
Thank you very much again. And Haley Harding is the current Junior Minister of Tourism, hailing from the Graydon Sealy Secondary School. Haley, good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
Pearson is fine with me.
Oh, Pearson.
That's okay. But it's good to have you, Haley. And again, congratulations on your win. I know you went off then to represent Barbados as well. And so we are so immensely proud of you, Haley.
Thank
and
you
I'll
so
tell you
much.
why. I sat as a judge.
Yes, you did.
Watch it, girl. I sat as a judge. And I remember first meeting you when we had the interview segments, and then later at the final. And when Haley delivered, you were so impressive to all of us indeed that it was without doubt that you would have been the winner of this competition. Not that the others weren't equally competitive, but you stood head and shoulders above them in a very significant way. What is it about tourism that really inspires you in the way that it does?
Well, for me, tourism is more so about the people. And it's not just about, well, the service industry. I would say it's about connecting and getting to know people on a different level. There's so many different cultures out there, so many different variations of people that you may not be aware of have you not interact with them. And I've had a journey, and I've met so many amazing and interesting and talented individuals, and it's really been so inspiring. I mean, when I went to the Cayman Islands, I met ministers over there, and some of the junior ministers as well, my fellow competitors. And they had so many stories to share about their islands, and they were also so passionate. It really inspired me.
You are so eloquent. It really is inspiring listening to you as well, share your story and your experience as well. And so, Marsha, this is what we do. This is what we bring out of our school children.
Yes, definitely. For 2025, this is our time, which is Destination Barbados time to select its Junior Minister of Tourism. There are other islands in the CTO member states that are in this competition as well, and we are seeking to bring out young people who are passionate about their island, who is knowledgeable, who can sell Destination Barbados, who can speak about Destination Barbados wherever they traverse this entire world. And you can only do that by knowing your island, knowing what our industry is about, what is the work of the Ministry of Tourism, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., when they hear all these B's, Barbados Tourism Investment Inc., and it gives them that framework in how this industry functions across the island and how we play a part in the entire tourism sector across the world.
So how do you get the children into it in the first place?
So we structured the Youth Congress, which really is a congress of young people coming to discuss topics of interest or of more importance for 2025. And a call is sent out to secondary schools. We share that information with all the secondary schools, both private and public, across Barbados. And we have an upcoming deadline on Friday for them to indicate their students. There are 2 students per school, and we're hoping to have at least 15. We know not everybody would participate. We'd love if everyone participates.
It would be great.
Because they bring their voices to that conversation. And after that, we have an orientation session, because we do have students who, I like to say, homework and school. They may not traverse Animal Fall Cave. They may not take a ride across the island to see some of the developments and see why visitors come here. So in addition to that, we're going to have an island tour, and we're adding this year some sessions on public speaking, leadership, and marketing, tourism marketing, whether it's from the digital perspective, so that we open their minds to the topic of discussion. There are 4 topics this year. Sustainable tourism. We are asking about leveraging heritage tourism development in Barbados. There's sustainable transport across the Caribbean, And our final topic, which Haley is going to jump in here now
Haley, help.
and tell me about that fourth topic. Therefore, this year,
Yes.
surprisingly, they only have to select one. Once you select that topic, you are going to go away and do your research, because we can't tell you everything.
Right.
You have to know, understand for yourself what the question is asking. Who am I going to call? Am I going to call Pearson for some public speaking tips? My delivery, if it's adventure tourism, maybe you take a tour of Harrison Cave or Cocoa Hill Forest to see what is about diversity and heritage tourism in Barbados. And then they come to deliver at the Youth Congress, set for July 2nd, and it's in the form of a board of directors meeting. So you're in a meeting, it's going to be chaired by Haley here herself.
Yes, please.
And she's going to ask for each of those students to bring their contribution in 3 minutes. But after that, we also have to test their knowledge about the island, and that's the mystery question, which you pretty much know, Pearson. Mystery question. When you pose that question about tourism, we're going to see how best the student or how well they know their island Barbados, because that's equally important. When they go to that conference, wherever it may be this year, and they're asked a question about, what are some of the fun things for families to do in Barbados, they are competent to speak about that. Yeah.
So we're looking at some images coming out of some of the experiences that the students would have had, those who would have entered the Youth Congress. That's you, Haley, there from Barbados, and so Jordan was the outgoing junior tourism minister. So he chaired the meeting, and there you are now at the State of the Caribbean. You remember this from last year?
I do.
At the Hilton Barbados, when you were announced the junior tourism minister of tourism from the Graydon Sealy School, and you had at your school the banner that was displayed as well. What did that mean to you to win? And to have that displayed at your school?
I mean, it was a very sentimental moment for me. I put so much hard work, sweat, and tears into coming to that point. And it was the first time Graydon Sealy had taken home that title. And it impacted my fellow students so well. I have some of them coming up to me and asking them, what does this position entail? What do you really do, Haley? And I would explain to them and tell them, yeah, I do all sorts of things. Even recently, I went on a farm tour with travel agents from Europe. The purpose of that tour was so that they would get more familiarized with the island and see some of the fun things that we have here to do, so that when they go back, they can promote it to their visitors. And I asked them, what are the tourists looking for? And they said, the main thing that they come to see is the beauty of the island, as well as the nature that it possesses, and the people especially. The experience, the connection with the locals. That's what they're really coming to look for. So I explained that to some of my fellow students, and they were like, yeah, this sounds like fun. This sounds like something I'd want to do. And I explained to them the benefits as well. I mean, even though I have an internship coming up for me, even after the position, I am still reaping. I am still continuously gaining. So it's very beneficial. And
I'm telling you, and that's the beauty of the program, Haley. I just love it, Marsha. You know that. You know that about me, indeed.
We do.
So I just want to remind you, because we shared it earlier, that this coming Friday is your deadline.
That is the deadline.
Is your deadline to get your 2 entries in, your 2 students who you have selected to be a part of the Youth Congress in Barbados. And it's hosted by the BTMI. The final is in July, as we told you before, at the Wyndham Grand. And so we're looking forward to all schools participating, all secondary schools on island participating.
Yes, please.
And so you don't have a lot of time, but I hope that you've taken the time already to be able to identify those students and begin to prep them. As Haley told you, you experience so much. Part of which is that banner that's hosted at your school. I love that. You go to the Congress, the regional Congress as well, as Haley did, and competed there in the Cayman Islands, as we told you before. And so, how can, entry is this Friday, closest entry. How do schools enter?
We would love that the student can identify to their teacher their passion and interest in entering the competition. If they don't have the forms they are at the school, but you can go on our corporate website, corporate.visitbarbados.org, and you get all your information there. You have to fill out that participation form as well as a permission slip from your parents and submit them to the BTMI youth at visitbarbados.org.
All right. Simple. So, and like Haley, you get to travel across the region.
Yes,
you get to
we do.
interact with so many other different people. You get a cash prize. The school gets a prize.
It's
All
true.
of us guys
It's
do
true.
this
My
happen.
school did have
There's
benefits from this as well.
Yes.
There's so much, and you have bragging rights.
Yes,
You have
she
bragging
does.
rights. Now Haley can say she was the first from Graydon Sealy
Yes.
to win. And where was this? Hey, look at the screen there, Haley. Where was this and what was this?
That was the Beijing fair.
Look at your excitement.
I was so excited. That was my first ever fair, and I was just with this blocks guy,
Yes.
and I was having so much fun. I walked around the fair and had the full experience. I got to see all the different sites, try all the different things. I held a snake. I held a snake. I didn't expect a snake to feel like that, but
Oh my word.
Wow.
So as you're getting ready now to leave your position as Junior Minister of Tourism, what's your best advice to other young people today?
I would say that my best advice is do not doubt yourself. Be confident in yourself, because many young people may see this competition like myself and think, wow, I mean, I'm all for it, but I'm going to be eaten alive. I mean, I don't stand a chance. But in reality, you only stand as much of a chance as you push. You only know until you try. And when I really got into it, and I went to that first meeting with everybody there, I was surprised to realize that, wow, I am not as unconfident as I think I am. I am not as inferior as I think I am to everybody else. And I could possibly win this. And that one thought is what led me to push myself this hard to win the competition. You may think that you can't do something, but that's not entirely true. You could be interested in debating. You could be interested in just speak competitions in general. You may not even be interested in tourism, but it's still beneficial because you learn about your island, you learn about your culture. And I've learned so much. I've been to so many different sites, watched my whole gully, Harrison's College, and Harrison's Cave, and I went through the cave, and the tourism experience was much, much different than a normal everyday experience because it entailed so much more.
Haley, that's brilliant advice. Again, as I keep saying, Haley is so eloquent, such a wonderful ambassador for tourism in Barbados. And so, Marsha, I know the BTMI, you continue to do wonderful work there with the young people.
Yes.
And I commend you to continue doing so, Marsha.
Thank you, with your help as well.
I am always readily available, as you know, all the time.
Yes,
and so
please.
I just love it. It's such a wonderful initiative indeed, and I commend you to continue doing so very well indeed.
Thank you. We're pretty much pleased with all our junior ministers, and we're happy that they in turn tell their friends about tourism and educate them about tourism.
Yes. Don't forget, Friday is the deadline, schools. Friday is the deadline. Friday is the deadline. Friday is the deadline to get them in. And good luck to all indeed who are participating. Thank you so much, Haley Harding and Marsha Armstrong. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential, no one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The flash flood watch has been extended for Barbados. Unsettled weather conditions continue affecting Barbados, and further shower activity could produce flooding across some sections of the island. Therefore, the Barbados Meteorological Services has extended the possible impacts: runoff from higher elevations, soil erosion on exposed or scarred land surfaces, water settlements on roads and fields at the foot of hills and along coastal roads, objects or debris from higher elevations becoming embedded within fast-moving water flows, delays on traffic routes with some roads becoming impassable. What should you do? The public should follow the recommendations from the Department of Emergency Management. The public is encouraged to monitor the BMS, DEM, and GIS websites and their respective social media pages, along with the local media networks for further updates. Discussion. Over the past 24 hours, rainfall accumulations reaching up to 3 inches were observed across the island. Though rainfall activity significantly diminished overnight, any shower activity added to the already saturated environment could result in flooding, especially in flood-prone districts. General information. A flash flood watch is issued when heavy or excessive rainfall in a short period of time, generally less than 6 hours, could result in flash flooding within the watch area. It does not mean that flooding will occur, but that it is possible. This flash flood watch was extended at 6 a.m., 13th of May 2025, and will be updated or terminated at 12 noon, 13th of May 2025, or sooner if conditions warrant.
That information just coming in from the Barbados Met Services, which explains the weather conditions we're under at the moment. So now you know to prepare differently. But severe thunderstorms are expected. This warning is in effect until noon today. It could be extended or it could just be discontinued at noon as well. Let's turn our attention to some other good news now as we sit with the BARP Charitable Trust, the Barbados Association for Retired People. They're having a big activity coming up on the weekend, as I teased you at the beginning of the show. And what is that activity, you're asking? Oh, you're going to find out now, because joining me is Vice Chair of the BARP Charitable Trust, Teresa Marshall, and with her is Jean Springer, who is a trustee of the Charitable Trust. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you again, Miss Marshall, indeed, in this capacity as well. So here we are, we're talking about the Charitable Trust by BARP. For those who don't know that it exists, how long have you been in existence?
Well, we started our activities in 2018. Okay. The trust was formed as a registered charity in 2016. So we came on stream in 2018. We began organizing with a strategic plan and so on, and then COVID came.
Yes, yes.
So we are really now only getting into our own in terms of fundraising and raising our profile with the public, because we are looking after the less fortunate seniors in our community. That's our mandate.
You've answered the question I was going to next. For what purpose was the Charitable Trust devised? I set up?
Exactly for that. For those seniors in financial difficulties, in need of medical assistance, housing assistance, things like that. So that was the priority, to give back. And the trust was initially funded through donations from members. So it was members giving back to those less fortunate than themselves. And it has evolved from there. We're looking at corporate donors, we're looking at other areas of fundraising.
Yeah, because it's not sustainable, the membership alone, so filling the bank,
definitely
so to speak.
Definitely not.
So you've had then to embark on a whole host of other activities,
yes.
Part of which is this activity coming up on the weekend.
Correct.
So what's happening on the weekend?
On the weekend we are having a concert at the Barbados Museum's Wall Theatre. We specifically put it in the afternoon because that's when seniors like to come out. You know, driving at night is always a problem.
Jean, do you hear what she said about you?
Well, that's a fact. We have to appreciate that and accept it.
Of course.
And in an accessible location where there's parking, where there's capacity for disabled entrance and so on. And then a lovely garden setting. And Jean has been working on this for quite a while. In fact, she is one of the, almost I would say, founder members of BARP. She goes back to the beginning. She was on the board for a long time. And she remembers when, you know, there was so much social activity in BARP. And a concert has been her dream.
Oh, Jean, you're living your dream. Talk to me about this. I just saw from the poster on our screens some stellar people who are going to be a part of this concert coming up on Saturday. So let's talk a little bit more about it.
Well, this concert is to be held on Saturday, May the 17th, at the Walled Garden Theatre of the Barbados Museum, the Garrison. It's very accessible, so I hope you'll be there. It's the artists are several interesting persons, and first let me tell you about the MC. And I think most people know of this gentleman, very humorous, Mr. Antoine Williams.
Yes.
The artists are Miss Reza Garnes, Mr. Nathan Phillips, I think he is.
Richards,
Listen,
yes. Have you heard Nathan sing?
How could I forget?
That's Nathan there on your screen. Nathan has a beautiful tenor voice. Really fantastic. So you know you're getting some of the best.
Yes.
So Risa Garnes, Nathan Richards.
Creme de la creme.
Yes.
Trinity Clark, Mr. A.C. Clark, Adrian Clark, and everybody knows him. Mr. Blood as well, very popular. Mr. Ken Farrell and his BARP line dancers. Mr. Alex Cage. So those are some of the exciting artists we are expecting to have.
Brilliant.
There will also be some very great surprises, as well as some refreshments on sale.
Right. I'm told the Christchurch Foundation School...
How could I forget that?
I've seen them in rehearsal, as a matter of fact. And they are readying themselves for Saturday at the Wall Theatre, folks. at the Barbados Museum. You enter, you go right behind. That's where the wall theater is.
And let me apologize because that's my brother's alma mater. So how could I do that?
That is all right, Sister. That's fantastic. And so that's where it's going to be on Saturday. It's a combination of jazz and calypso and soca. It's all those idioms indeed that you can get to enjoy, and steel pan. And that's the beauty of this Saturday evening. As Teresa said, it's for the seniors. So it's starting at what time?
That's correct.
4
o'clock. 4 to 7.
4 till 7. Oh, we get home before it gets too dark indeed. And so it's this. So tickets.
Tickets are available at the BARP headquarters at Marine Square, as well as the lumber company at Spikestown and Carlton Supermarket, Carlton A1.
So in the north at Barbados Lumber Company in Spikestown, in the mid-country at Carlton, Carlton Supermarket in Blackrock, or in BARP at the south of the island, your office. So it's all there. It's everybody coming. This is not just pitched to senior citizens.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because in fact, the interaction between seniors and the younger generation is extremely important. And, you know, BARP plays an enormous role in mentorship. And this is a connection that we need to continue to develop. How can the youth learn from the elderly?
Yes.
And how can the elderly be stimulated by the youth?
That's right. And so this is all stimulating. There you can see on your screen some of the energy you can expect when you come to this concert on Saturday. Antoine is going to be, the tickets are $75 and you can get them from all of those locations we shared with you just a moment ago. But your support is absolutely vital, because the charitable trust continues to be able to help those other members who are in need. And as we grow older, sometimes that need becomes even greater. And so your support of this helps to fund the charitable trust. And I know you come from a big place, a big heart, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Let that big heart come to the Wall Theatre at the Barbados Museum this Saturday from 4 in the afternoon. The concert starts. That means you've got to get there earlier, much earlier, to be ready. Come early o'clock and be ready to really enjoy a stellar cast of outstanding Barbadian performers. And you and your friends, food and drinks are also on sale. And some line dancing will be going on. All of this in one location on Saturday, and it's just $75. You just spent enough money last weekend. I want you to spend some enough money this weekend coming as well by supporting the BARP Charitable Trust. They need your support. They need our support indeed. So we're all going. Jean, you're going?
Interested.
Jean, if I come, would you dance with me?
I hope to be there.
Would you dance with me?
Well, of course, if you ask me.
It's a challenge. Good to see you again, Teresa. Indeed. I wish only the very best with this particular activity, and I really want to hope that many Barbadians do come out and give their full support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Say one more thing.
Sure.
Miss this and blame yourself.
Don't add. Miss this and blame yourself. So folks, that's it. Thank you again. So folks, that's it for today. Our little crew joins me in wishing all of you a terrific today. Remember, there's a severe thunderstorm warning on until noon today. Pay close attention to your surroundings and weather conditions, and I encourage you all to be very safe today. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow if it be the will of the Lord. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.